Can you guys hear me okay? This is my first time with one of these. I feel like Brittany, which tells you exactly how old I am. And as Rick said, somebody had to be before lunch. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I apologize for that. But I am the, thank you. EVP of Enterprise Partnerships here at Suzy. For those of you who are not familiar with Suzy, we are an end-to-end consumer insights platform. So that means we have our own audience. We have a fully integrated qual and quant approach. I really appreciated following Tonal this morning, who said they broke the laws of physics. That was really nice to follow throughout the day. I'd like to say maybe we could break the laws of market research. We can get up to 500 responses in under 30 minutes. So a lot of, the reason I'm standing here today is because we talk to consumers a lot. So in regards to wellness, our opportunity is to understand where the consumers are at in this journey. It's not a new trend, and it is everywhere. So let's break down a couple of key things that you guys can take away, in terms of what the consumers are saying and how they're feeling about the wellness trend in their own lives. So again, wellness is everywhere. You really cannot escape it. We've been obviously talking about it here today at Tonal. But it's something that, again, is all over the place. It's all over us in terms of being brands. It's all over, kind of consumers' daily habits and consumption. So what does wellness mean? It's not just one need state for a consumer. At this point, it is something that spans all parts of their lives. We talk about financial wellness. We talk about mental wellness. We talk about nutritional wellness. And, of course, physical wellness. That's certainly, I think, the forefront of where we see wellness trends develop and what consumers think. But especially as you start to look at younger demographics and younger generations, we're also seeing that definition has become much more broad. Suzy loves to ride the wave too. We are fully invested in talking to all of our brands and our clients about wellness. We've got a lot of great white papers. If anybody's familiar with Suzy, Matt Britton is our CEO, and he ran a very, very popular webinar series called The State of the Consumer. We still do those, but we've done a lot on wellness because, again, it's something that is lifestyle. It permeates everything. But why talk about it? Why spend so much time on wellness? Well, according to Bloomberg, the commercial opportunity is set to be about $8.5 trillion by 2027, right? So that is almost up 60%. It's up 57% from today's revenue and what we see on the wellness industry. And again, it's because it's growing in so many of these different elements or kind of verticals across finance and everything else like that. So it is definitely worth our time, not only because it's central to who we are as people, but it's definitely worth our time because the commercial opportunity is real. And again, as brands and as marketers, we want to be there for consumers to help them meet us where they are in their product journey. So how do we meet consumers where they're at on their wellness journey? Again, wellness trends, not new, but this piece important, meeting the consumer where they are at is a huge part of personalization, and the feedback that we're getting from our panel of folks saying, this isn't just about wellness being shoved down my throat, this is about brands respecting where I'm at in my journey and how they meet me there. So great news for everyone in this room, wellness trends are on the rise at home. So good news for Tonal, and also I just want to say whenever we're sharing information at Suzy, we always stop and say, well, what did you learn? And I think Tonal did a really nice job this morning because I was not in the market for a Tonal, but there was a group of us women that were talking earlier about like, oh my God, can you believe there was like a hot flash ad on the Super Bowl? And can you believe, that we're starting to use the term perimenopausal? And, as a woman in the back half of her 30s at this point, I'm like, yeah, I just had a bunch of kids and my muscle mass is crap. And I've elevated or understood a need that, I should be lifting more weights. It's not part of my routine at this point. It's just mainly chasing small children, singing Taylor Swift. But wellness trends are on the rise at home, and about 84% say that they're prioritizing this. The difference is that in the last 6 months, about only 30% say that they've made an investment in wellness. There's a gap. There's an opportunity of, this is important to me. We saw that kind of manifest throughout the pandemic, but I think as we saw it originally from consumers in the pandemic, wellness at home was a treat me moment. It was, I ordered a bunch of gold under eye masks to put on my Zoom calls while I just had a me moment. We're really moving into something that's more routinized, right? So something that's more about having a routine at home. So again, I think that bodes well for some of the friends in the room. But at the end of the day, it's not something that is necessarily being actioned at every level. So again, this is building off of COVID, it's on the rise, but we definitely have an opportunity to try and meet consumers where they're at by building it into their routines and connecting it to other parts of their lives, which leads us to something else, that wearable tech should become an immersive experience. So there's a lot of marketers in the room. You all buy point solutions, technology. This is kind of how I think about that. What we're hearing from consumers is that instead of having point solutions in their home, they'd like to start connecting those things, right? So again, when you think about workout, when you think about physical wellness, it's not just about the ability to do it at home, it's about the ability to get results. We're getting results oriented as a culture in terms of what we're investing in. And so if 78% want wearables integrated into their larger tech, what are those opportunities? Matt Britton, again, our CEO, very kind man, as a token of appreciation, gave his executive team the Ray-Ban sunglasses that record as well. It was the most integrated tech I've ever had on my body, on my face, but it's been really interesting to start playing with that and seeing how it connects to other devices and how it connects to other things. When we see consumers reporting incidents of wearing watches, rings, other things like that, the feedback is that they also want it to connect to things like meal planning. I took so many steps today. It's part of my routine. I'm going to the grocery store. It's Sunday. I actually got a workout in and I can go shop for the week. So making that immersive experience with wearable tech is something that we're getting a lot of feedback on. It's not an easy challenge to solve all the time, but there's definitely an opportunity in regards to integrating that further into other parts of their wellness at home. It's a bold move. To stand up in front of a room of marketers and say, take a beat. A lot of consumers are saying that they're influenced by brands who embrace the slow market or the slow lifestyle, slow living lifestyle. It's not just on wellness, but it's also within the things like fashion, right? Normally you can't cap fashion. It moves so quickly. There's a new trend every day. Such designer came out with this and there's 50 knockoffs. We've been seeing quiet luxury as a fashion trend, right? That's something that if you really take a step back, the consumer is asking to pause and they're asking to be mindful. So bold move for me to say, take a beat. I know we're all talking about personalization. We just got off a discussion on reach to consumers. So it's, again, a bold statement, but I think this bit has been about respect, right? Respect me where I'm at. I get a zillion ads. I think Tony just said it. I get a zillion ads from brands every single day. What if one of those brand experiences is, hey, take a beat. Does anyone YouTube TV? Please enjoy this beach for 15 seconds before we get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Even when you log into our Suzy platform to launch research, we say, enjoy a nice moment, before you actually launch your next study. We got some feedback in our NPS scores that was really just great, and it, had people taking a beat throughout their day. So this trend is obviously something that could have us examining how many touches a brand is giving their consumer throughout the day, but it's also really about respecting that consumer on where they're at in their journey and being the brand that recognizes they want to meet them where they're at. I'm pushing it, but I think you're manually doing it over there. Thank you. Again, personalization. We're going to talk about this a little bit later with Brigitte and Andrew, but 97% of folks are looking for personalized apps in their wellness routine. Not shocking. Again, obviously, if we're driving for results here, we want to see something that is tailored to us. What's really interesting to me is that we're on the advent of, again, educating consumers about cookies and data privacy and everything else that comes with it. They've heard about what GDPR is, et cetera. And yet, 80% of respondents that were in our survey said they'd be willing to give up personal data as long as their physical workout routines were personalized to them. Won't even tell my husband what my post-baby weight is after the last couple of us. Definitely will put it in my app if it's something that will actually give me the results that I'm looking for. The other big part about this trend is that there's a good share of wallet here, right? So folks within Gen Z, specifically, not Gen Z, but folks 25 to 34 also reported that they're willing to pay for this level of personalization within their wellness apps. So again, it could be starting with the physical, but we also know that it could be starting with the mental as well, mental wellness. Which leads us to our next trend in that mental health is self-care. She allowed me to say this, but I was talking Caitlin earlier from TalkSafe space, and we were saying that it's so interesting that younger consumers don't really understand the idea of a stigma around mental health. This is something where, again, we're seeing 84% of folks start to rely on apps and trust their therapy apps as opposed to always going in person for therapy. And more people have a therapist. So we're really starting to lose the stigma around mental health being self-care. Does anyone remember the Twitter experience where Elmo asked us how we were doing? Yep, that set off like an emotional, like, cathartic moment for everyone because Elmo just asked us how we were doing. But again, it's important to be mindful and to check in and to actually respect where consumers are at on their journey because again, this is something that is a bigger element of wellness that we haven't really seen and I think we'll continue to see with younger generations as they come into the fold. So again, as we're thinking about some of these trends, and I'm like right on the money, I hope, in terms of lunchtime, personalize, but that has to do with where the consumer is at in their journey. It doesn't mean that every consumer is the same. It means we need to be looking at our segments. We need to be looking at the psychographics and where they are on their journey around all different aspects of wellness in their life. There was also a really big trend on TikTok recently around Roth IRAs. Did anyone see that? Roth IRAs and educating on, why you need to actually, you can put your money in a Roth IRA, but then you actually have to invest it once you're in your Fidelity account. Brands and those generating content, meeting people where they are at and giving that level of personalization. It's about respect and it's about a custom journey for each of those consumers and meeting them where they're at. So hopefully giving you guys a few things to think about today. Again, I appreciate all the time and presence here from Tonal and Brand Innovators, but if you have any questions, please feel free to chat with me afterwards. Thanks, guys.